So, buckle up, because what I'm about to tell you, it's the kind of story you think only happens on some over-the-top TV drama. But nope, this went down in real life, and I still don't know how to fully process it. It all started last Saturday. I showed up to my friend Emily's baby shower, expecting a chill afternoon of finger foods, fake gift reactions, and maybe a little gossip. You know, standard stuff. But girl, what I got instead? A front row seat to the wildest emotional roller coaster I've ever witnessed. Emily, she's my girl. Been friends for years. And let me just say, she looked like a literal angel that day. All glowy and radiant, like she was starring in some maternity photo shoot for Vogue or something. Her shower was honestly the most Pinterest-perfect event I've ever been to. I mean, we're talking blush pink and lavender balloon arches, a mimosa bar with little name tags on the flutes, and a charcuterie spread so beautiful I felt bad eating it. Like, who knew cured meats could be arranged into floral shapes? Anyway, everything seemed picture perfect, until it all unraveled. I noticed something right away. Emily was off. Like, don't get me wrong, she was smiling and laughing, but it was that kind of forced, over-the-top energy. You know when someone's pretending everything's fine, but their vibe is giving low-key panic? That. Then there's her ride or die, her so-called best friend, Danielle. Now, Danielle's always been a little intense. Like, if Emily said she wanted to move to the moon, Danielle would already be packing her bags. It's been that way for as long as I can remember. Not trying to be shady, but the level of devotion has always felt a little too deep, if you catch my drift. So, we're doing the usual baby shower stuff, games, awkward small talk, passing around cupcakes with way too much frosting, and then it's time for gifts. Everyone gathers in a circle, wine glasses in hand, while Emily starts tearing through wrapping paper. Diapers, onesies, a wipe warmer, the usual suspects. Then she gets to Danielle's gift. She opens the box, pulls out this delicate little necklace. It's silver, dainty, and has this tiny charm that says, "Forever united by love." And y'all, I swear, the entire room just froze. It was like someone hit pause on life. You could practically hear the oxygen leaving the room. And then Emily, my girl, just breaks down. But not like, I'm so touched, crying. No. I'm talking full-on ugly cry. Shoulders shaking, can't catch her breath, makeup running. Danielle's right there next to her, holding her hand like she's the one who just gave birth. It was a lot. I'm sitting there like, what did I just witness? And of course, my inner nosy Nancy kicked into high gear. But I kept my cool, pretended like I was just sipping my drink, watching from the sidelines. I figured maybe Emily was just overwhelmed by the moment, or hormones, or both. But then things got real sketchy. Not long after, I spot Danielle pulling Emily into the kitchen. And not like, hey, let's grab some snacks, casual. No, this was intense. They were moving quick, whispering like they were about to plot a bank heist. Obviously, I had to follow. I mean, come on. Wouldn't you? So I tiptoe into earshot, hanging by the hallway entrance pretending to scroll my phone like I wasn't full-on eavesdropping. They didn't see me, but I caught just enough to know things were about to explode. Danielle says, "You need to tell her." Her voice was all hushed and urgent. And Emily, my sweet, beautiful Emily, she goes, "I can't. What if she hates me?" And I'm thinking, wait. Who's she? What's there to hate? What did you do? That's when I couldn't take it anymore. I stepped into the kitchen, acting all casual like, "Hey, what's going on, you two?" Both of them froze like I just caught them stealing a baby. Danielle gave me this look like I just ruined her Oscar-winning moment. She goes, "It's not my place to say." Real dramatic. But Emily, oh, Emily just lost it. The floodgates opened again. She starts sobbing and blurts out, "The baby, it's not biologically mine." I swear, I had to grab the counter to keep from falling over. Turns out, Emily had some serious fertility issues, like, she couldn't use her own eggs. So she went the IVF route. That part one totally get. But the plot twist? The egg donor was none other than Danielle, her best friend. I'm still trying to pick my jaw up off the floor when Danielle drops one more bomb. She looks me dead in the eyes and says, I did it because I love her. And not in the, you're my best friend, kind of way. Nah. Danielle's been in love with Emily for years. Years. The egg donation wasn't just a kind gesture. It was her twisted little way of staying connected forever. I mean, this girl literally gave a piece of herself to be a part of Emily's child. That's next level. And then, because apparently my life is a soap opera now, I ask, wait, what about Ryan? That's Emily's husband. Sweetest guy on the planet, totally in the dark about any of this. Emily just looks down and whispers, he doesn't know. I'm sorry, what? So let me get this straight. Ryan's walking around thinking he and his wife are about to have the happiest little family, meanwhile her best friend is the biological mother of the child, and she's secretly in love with his wife. It's like a plot twist within a plot twist. Now here I am, sitting in the middle of this emotional tornado. Do I say something? Do I keep quiet? Do I tell Emily she has to tell him before this whole thing blows up and takes down everyone involved? Either way. I already know one thing for sure, this year's Christmas dinner is about to be hella awkward. Okay, so picture this, it's a quiet December morning, I'm in my apartment humming along to Mariah Carey, stringing up fairy lights, just trying to channel some holiday joy. I've got a peppermint mocha in one hand, and my little fake tree in the other when my phone starts vibrating on the counter. I glance over. It's Ryan. Yeah. Ryan. Emily's husband. Sweet, dorky, painfully loyal Ryan. Now, I don't usually get calls from him, maybe the occasional group text or a thumbs up emoji. So naturally, I'm like, why is this man calling me? Something in my gut says this isn't just a casual, Merry Christmas, call. So I answer. He skips the small talk and goes straight into it, you're Emily's best friend, right? I trust you, and I really need someone to talk to. I sit down slow, already bracing myself for the emotional avalanche coming my way. He starts telling me he's been watching their joint bank account, and some weird things have been happening. Big withdrawals. Like, really big. And nothing to show for it, no packages, no fancy new crib or baby stuff, not even a hint of retail therapy. I'm not saying I don't trust my wife, he says, voice all shaky and unsure. I know something's off. And I'm sitting there, sipping my peppermint mocha like, oh, Emily. What have you gotten yourself into now? I ask him straight up, why don't you just talk to her about it? And he sighs, like I just suggested the hardest thing in the world. I don't want to stress her out. She's pregnant. I'm just trying to keep her calm and happy. Bless his heart. He's too sweet for his own good. And here I am, holding the secret to the most chaotic plot twist he has no clue about. But what do? Do I throw my girl under the bus? No. Instead, I pull a lie out of the clear blue sky and say, oh, she's probably been donating to charity. You know how she is around the holidays, always giving back. Yeah. That was the best I could come up with. Don't judge me. I was on the spot. He seems satisfied, relieved, even, and thanks me for being honest. Honest. The irony. We hang up, and I just sit there, staring at my blinking tree lights like they're gonna give me answers. I knew I needed to talk to Emily, immediately. So I throw on my coat, hop in a cab, and head to her Upper West Side apartment. Girl lives like a Hallmark movie character, marble counters, big windows, fluffy white furniture. The kind of place that smells like vanilla and ambition. Emily opens the door all bright and cheerful, like she doesn't have a damn storm cloud hovering over her head. I walk in and cut straight to the chase. Listen, sis. Ryan called me. He's worried. He knows money's been disappearing and I covered for you, told him you were donating to charity. Now it's your turn. What's going on? She laughs. Laughs. Like I just asked her if she wanted to order pizza. Oh, you know. I've just been shopping. Shoes, coats, the usual luxury stuff. I squint at her. Emily, come on. I know you. You'd never blow that kind of money on yourself while you're 8 months pregnant and still squeezing into your pre-bump jeans. Try again. That's when she crumbles. Her face drops, and the tears come rushing in. She sits down and finally, tells me the truth. Turns out, she and Danielle are being blackmailed. Yes, blackmailed. Remember that fertility doctor who handled the egg donation? Yeah. Him. He somehow found out everything. That Danielle was the donor. That Danielle's in love with Emily. The whole tangled web. And now he's using it to squeeze them for cash. Emily's been handing over money to keep him quiet. And because she can barely walk without waddling, Danielle's been the one making the drop-offs. But here's the twist that made my jaw hit the floor: Emily doesn't even trust Danielle anymore. She keeps mentioning a plan B, Emily says between sobs, but she won't tell me what it is. I'm scared, and I don't know what she's capable of anymore. I swear, it felt like I was suddenly in the middle of a Netflix thriller. So I did what any nosy, overly involved best friend would do: I went full private investigator. And what I found? Girl, buckle up. First, I dig into Danielle's background. You know, just a little light social media sleuthing, background checks, a few late-night Google deep dives. And what I discover is unreal. Danielle isn't who she says she is. Her so-called family doesn't exist. Her Instagram is basically a ghost town before 5 years ago, the exact time she slid into Emily's life out of nowhere. And that fertility doctor, the one blackmailing them, he's not just some rogue medical scammer. He's Danielle's half-brother. Yep. They grew up in the same orphanage. And now they run these elaborate cons together, target vulnerable people, manipulate them, drain them dry. The egg donation. Just another hook in their long game. So then I had to ask myself, why hasn't Danielle just robbed Emily blind and disappeared? Because, apparently, this whole scheme got personal. Danielle fell too deep. Somewhere along the line, the act stopped being an act. She didn't just want money, she wanted Emily. And the baby? Her twisted way of holding on forever. I took all this back to Emily, laid it out in painful detail. She didn't deny any of it, just collapsed on the floor, sobbing like the world was ending. And honestly, it kind of was. But I'll give her this, she pulled herself together long enough to finally tell Ryan the truth. And here's where things went from telenovela to courtroom drama. Sweet, clueless Ryan. Not so clueless anymore. Man snapped into action like he was prepping for a custody battle on Judge Judy. He told me straight up, I'm filing for full custody as soon as the baby's born. I'm pressing charges on everyone involved. But I don't want to cut Emily out completely. I want what's best for the baby, and I want you to help me raise them. I'm blinking at him like I misheard. You mean like, a nanny? He shakes his head. No. I mean, I want you to be the baby's mother. And girl, I laughed. Like a real belly laugh. Thought he was joking. But he was dead serious. Totally calm, totally sincere. I'll take care of everything, he says. You'll never have to worry about money, or anything. All I ask is that you raise this baby, and if you're comfortable, take on the role of my wife. I stared at him, peppermint mocha still in my hand, completely frozen. I mean, how do you even respond to that? This whole story started with pastel balloons and a cheese board. Now I've got a marriage proposal and a baby on the way that isn't even genetically related to anyone involved. Christmas. Oh honey, Christmas is gonna be a mess. I really thought I'd hit my breaking point. Thought nothing else could shock me. But life? Life's cruel like that. Just when you think your heart can't take anymore, it rips it right out of your chest and asks, still beating? Let's try again. It's been 3 weeks since Emily lost the baby. Yeah. Lost. A week before her due date, she had what they told her was a late miscarriage. She called me just after midnight, voice shaking like a glass about to shatter. I still remember every word, but none of them felt real. Just static. Just pain. I drove over in my pajamas, praying it was a mistake, praying I'd wake up. But the look on her face when I walked in. That was real. The light was gone. The joy. The fight. All of it. She wasn't even Emily anymore, just a hollow outline of her, breathing because her body didn't know how to stop. Ryan left the next day. Packed up in silence and walked out. No screaming, no drama, just absence. Sophia? She vanished too. Not even a note. And Emily? She just stayed in that apartment, curled up in bed, staring out the window like she was waiting for something to come back that never would. I tried. I really tried. Sat with her, fed her soup, talked even when she didn't respond. I told myself this was grief. That she needed time. But then little things started to feel off. It started with a favor. Emily asked me to pick up her hospital discharge papers. She said she couldn't face that place again, that just walking in would destroy her. I didn't hesitate. I'd do anything for her. Always have. But when I got the paperwork, something didn't sit right. Her attending doctor wasn't her regular OBGYN. Some unfamiliar name, scribbled in shaky ink. I tried to look him up. Nothing. No profile. No hospital record. No residency history. Nobody. It was like the man didn't exist. Then came the funeral, or rather, the fact that there wasn't one. I asked about it, gently. She looked at me, tears welling up, and snapped, "The hospital handled it. It's done." Her voice cracked, but not from grief. From fear. I knew that sound. I'd heard it in myself once. So I started digging. I went back to the hospital, threw on my best poker face, and told the front desk I was Emily's sister. Lied my way past protocol, charmed a nurse in the records department with a sob story and a few too many compliments on her scrubs. And when I finally held that medical file in my hands, it nearly slipped right out. There was no record of a stillbirth. None. Instead, the final entry read, "Infant transferred to external care." External care. That word echoed in my head the entire subway ride home. My hands wouldn't stop shaking. I couldn't stop thinking, transferred to where? And why hadn't Emily told me? Something inside me snapped. I couldn't do that supportive best friend act anymore. Not until I had answers. Not while Emily kept pretending the story ended in that hospital room. And Sophia? She was supposed to be gone. But something about that never sat right with me either. So I did what I do best, I dug. I tracked her down in a dingy motel out in Queens, the kind of place with flickering signs and zero eye contact at check-in. Room 204. When she opened the door, she tried to play it cool. Acted like seeing me was no big deal, like she hadn't ghosted everyone after the worst day of Emily's life. But her eyes? They gave her away. Big, dark, and terrified. "Sophia," I said, "don't lie to me." And she didn't. Not this time. She told me everything. The miscarriage was staged. Emily's fertility doctor, Sophia's half-brother, in case you forgot that plot twist from hell, planned the whole thing. Faked the stillbirth. Told the hospital some carefully crafted story. Then sold the baby. Sold him. To some wealthy couple who'd been quietly trying to adopt through back channels. Sophia swore she didn't know until it was too late. Said she thought they were just scamming Emily out of money, not a child. She claimed she tried to stop it. That's why she ran. That's why she's been hiding. But I don't know. I want to believe her. I really do. But trust is fragile once it's cracked. I went straight to Emily. She didn't want to hear it. Shut down the second I said Sophia's name. The baby's gone, she said. You're crazy. Let it go. But I didn't. I couldn't. I showed her the medical file. The part that said, transferred to external care. The signature that didn't match her doctor's. The address that led nowhere. And when she saw it, really saw it, her whole body crumbled. She fell to her knees and wept like her soul was unraveling. And in that moment, I knew. She had always suspected the truth. Maybe she didn't know the details. Maybe she let herself believe the lie because the truth was worse. Because losing a baby is one thing. But having your child stolen? That's a different kind of nightmare. Sophia says she wants to help now. Says she's going to tell me everything, names, addresses, even the couple who bought the baby. Says she wants to fix what she broke. But I don't know if redemption's even possible in a mess like this. I don't know if I should let her near Emily. Near the truth. Near me. What I do know is this. Somewhere out there, Emily's baby is alive. And I'll be damned if I stop looking. I didn't think anything could shock me anymore. Not after everything we've been through. But then I got the call. The suspect's in custody. We need your statement. Suspect. Just hearing the word made my skin crawl. And suddenly, there I was, sitting in a beige police station under buzzing fluorescent lights, sipping vending machine coffee that tasted like sadness and wet cardboard. I should have been focused on my own testimony, but you know me. Curiosity's always been both my compass and my curse. That's when I heard it, his voice. Muffled. Low. Coming from behind a half-closed door. So, I moved. Quiet. Casual. Pressed my ear to the wall like a nosy neighbor in a soap opera. Call it wrong, illegal, whatever, but I had to know what that monster was going to say about Clara's baby. A voice asked, name. And then I heard it, flat and soulless. Hector Milan. I felt my stomach twist. He wasn't going to spill easily. Of course not. Men like him never do, not without leverage. So the cops gave him one. A deal. Help us find the baby, and we'll help you help yourself. I wanted to scream. Clara's life was in ruins, and this psychopath was out here negotiating. But before I tell you the rest of what I heard, you need the context. Because none of this makes sense without it. Turns out Hector and Sophia met as kids, bouncing from one foster home to another. Life didn't give them a chance. When Hector turned 18, he uncovered a set of old files, hidden, dust-covered, revealing they shared the same mother. It should have been a tragic bonding moment. But instead, it became a twisted pact. We promised each other we'd never be victims again, he said. The words still echo in my ears. Hector clawed his way into a sketchy health tech program. Used fake documents. Faked experience. Faked credentials. And eventually, faked an entire identity. Dr. Hector Milan, fertility specialist. The title was as real as his morality. When an officer asked him why fertility, I swear he smiled, like this was all just business. Because people pay fortunes to have kids, he said. And then he mentioned Clara. She was the perfect mark. Wealthy. Desperate. Isolated. And Sophia? She handpicked Clara. Not by accident. By design. Hector saw a prophet. Sophia saw something else. A connection. A crush. Maybe even love. It's hard to say. But what started as a con got tangled up in emotions no one knew how to handle. Sophia became Clara's confidant. Her shoulder. Her lifeline. And when Clara opened up about her fertility struggles, the trap snapped shut. "I know someone who can help," she told her. Just like that. When the detective asked Hector about their dynamic, I nearly dropped my coffee. He laughed, this bitter, bone-dry sound, and said, "Sophia fell in love with Clara. But that complicated things for me. I don't know what was harder, her feelings, or what happened between us." What happened between them? The room tilted. And then he confessed the thing that still keeps me up at night. The egg donation. His idea. He told Sophia it was the only way she'd always be connected, to Clara and the baby. Emotional insurance, he called it. Who even thinks like that? And then came the final dagger. It was always the plan to sell the baby, he said. It was easier if Clara thought the baby had died. My blood ran cold. I couldn't breathe. He'd bribed hospital staff. Forged documents. Covered every trail like he'd done it a dozen times before. Like he wasn't just destroying lives, he was cleaning up a spreadsheet. And Sophia? Hector said she never wanted it to go that far. But she still knew. She knew it was all a lie. She knew Clara was being manipulated. She just didn't stop it. Didn't walk away. Because she loved her. Or thought she did. Or needed her. I don't know what you call that anymore. Love? Obsession? Emotional trauma dressed up in roses? All I know is it broke everything. Hector tried to spin it like he was the victim. Said the system failed him. Said life gave him no choice. And I sat there, heart thudding, thinking. Spare me. Eventually, the questions got more technical, legal stuff I didn't understand. One of the officers finally noticed me lingering outside the door and asked me to leave. But the damage was already done. Later, a detective pulled me aside. Said Hector's confession lined up. Said it gave them just enough to start tracking the adoptive couple. But it wasn't over. They still needed proof. Documentation. Testimony. And most of all, they needed time. Clara doesn't have time. Not in her heart. Not in her mind. Every hour her child is out there feels like another slow death. And Javier? He's still missing. Still silent. No texts. No calls. No closure. The truth's unraveling now. Finally. But this story. This pain. It's far from over.